是呢，你画就停在这里了，对吧？停在这里。好，那好，来到我们这环节是谁来又吐槽啊？好，这个环节出很多次了，但还是跟大家解释一下规则是什么东西。就是他进场的时候就写张纸条，上面是一句吐槽的话。那等一下我们就会用这句吐槽的话来进行我们的游戏和挑战。没错。不过在进行游戏和挑战之前呢，我们先演一次我们准备好的小剧本。小剧本1分钟而已。而且第2题开始呢，就完全不一样，因为我们要开始抽大家的纸条了。抽出来，每轮会有2个人抽纸条，之后抽纸条那个人知道纸条内容，其他2个人是不知道的。就要在这情况下面呢，再演一次刚刚的剧本。而且那个没抽纸条的人要负责吐槽出观众写的那句吐槽的话，没有错。好，那大家准备好了吗？来，第一次正常的喘气是不是？哎，对。好，没关系，第一次正常的嘛，慢慢演，好，放轻松，慢演。这个剧本好像没有办法慢慢演，真的吗？从来没有用一些比较成熟的演技诠释过这个剧本吧？我开玩笑的，不要拖时间了，不要拖时间了，没事，可以 ，OK 啊，好。好，来了，来，第一次的小短剧 ，ready start。我终于追到你了。
你已经抽纸条了吗？你是谁呀？
你送错餐了。
送什么餐啦？
你不是送 Uber E 给我那人吗？
你有看到我带什么 Uber E 的箱子吗？
可恶啊！追了20分钟就追错了。
你也太坚持，追太久了吧？
我很期待我的汉堡蛋的。
OK， 所以
你知道我打开是什么吗？
什么
？Fridays 的汉堡。
那不是赚到了吗？
我的蛋呢？
你这么坚持蛋哦！
而且旁边还有什么，你知道吗？
什么
？10万块的现金。
10万块？
这种负担我能吃吗？
等一下，你打算要吃它？
好烂的表演。
不，先生，我跟你讲，那个10万块感觉很危险，你要小心一点呢。
真的？
真的。
好险，我还没有开动。
天哪，你要吃它？
没有。我是说我还没有动那笔钱。
OK， 我觉得你应该把那笔钱拿去警察局。
不好意思，有看到吗？有看到？
谁？
你
啊，
就是你。
哦。
天哪，我走了好远好远的路，好不容易到了你家门口，没有发现你，然后没想到我刚刚，对不起，我送错餐了。
啊，先生，是他才对。
是你，不是你，对不起，长太像了，我认错了。
我怎么可能长得同时像你们2个呢？
不好意思，见过。先生，很抱歉，刚送错餐了。你的汉堡蛋。
哇哦。
你的汉堡蛋在这里，还有余温哦。
天哪！
刚刚我送错的那一份，就当做是一个美丽的错误，你吃掉吧。真谢谢你了。
等等，先生，那10万呢？
得了10万，得了10万，
得了
10万，旁边有10万，
怎么一回事？
刚刚那个里面有10万吗？汉堡旁边有10万，天哪！来，听我说，那个10万是干净的，是 clean 的，它完全没有任何金流的记录。
听起来就超有鬼啊！
不要担心，你就用吧，我相信你。我把你评价盖成4颗星，
居然只有4颗星！
天哪，4颗星也 OK 啦。哎，但是我提醒你，里面旁边那包白色的调味粉，酌量使用。
那个绝对不是调味粉，
不是，它其实是，哒啦。到底那包调味粉是真的调？所有的笑点在我妈妈看全部不成立，全部为表演吃掉，厉害了吧？
我的妈！
很优雅吧？很优雅，我们开始暖身。但基本上就是一个送错餐的剧本。
对。
我们也呈现了另一种趣味的吧？好，那我们讲手部了。好，讲手部了。好，
剪刀石头布。
剪刀石头布。哦，学长。
好，吐槽神。
当王在飞。OK 好。好，准备了。好，准备好。
那我先来看。
好的。
我的纸条是什 么呢？
来吧。
这么微妙，
哎，它是哦，哎，
这么不对哈利来看有点难吗？
OK，
有点冒犯是吗
OK 哦，你 OK 吗？
没问题。
我看一下你的脸的表情。好，完蛋了啊！来，还有他，
好，我的纸条请抽。
看来我们吐槽不出来哦。好的，可以吗？怎么样？接受现实吗？可以吗？加油哦！
好，请收起来，收起来。
可以吗？不懂的可以问哦，不懂的可以下去讨论一下。
可以这样做的吗？哦，你炒菜哦。
OK 啊，
可以哦，
可以
来，
参打拜托了。
可以啊。第一轮的挑战是哈利跟康康的挑战 ，Ready Start！ 哦，终于接到，差一点点就掉下去了。哦，你以为你是歌剧魅影啊
Thank you。
最伟大的中华。亮！哎对，我刚刚送错餐了，对不对？不好意思啊，真的很开心看到你啊
是
来送错餐，这是您要的您要的，
我要的，
对你一直想要的，我现在给你了。
什么？
那我们讲好的事情啊，我们在将来的这个拜托投我一票了啊，可以啊，够吧？
没有，我就，哎，我这边还有
好，你要几个？我到时候再多给你几个汉堡蛋。来，你要100个，我给你100个，没有问题。
汉堡蛋那个馅够多吗？
够多。对，
我是要5层鸡翅堡。
好，没问题，这些都是一些民生的小事情啦。
真的吗？
来，
不要给贿赂啊你！
哎，不，来，先把你的船停下来。
你是贿赂官员
我
吧？
告诉你，如果到时候
不要用钱统战我们啦！
来，你这艘民用船可以不要开那么快吗？民用船是到时候我统不了手，我再派出来的东西，懂不懂？来，您才是席啊，我是谁啊？那我当然希望几年之后，
绳子拿着，来这绳子，
真是
咚，
不是，你们到底把重点拉到别的地方。
上船吧，先生，
算了，
小乌贼。可以了，到底是什么了？哎，我真的一直在选实话吐槽错的东西。
你们没关系，看纸好不好？
难度感觉好高哦。
高，
真的吗？
错了。
好，先来看看我的。
然后看看哪里的。
哎，
好，真的歌剧魅影啊。
哦，谢谢。
哎，歌剧魅影啊，
来，再来，
真的棒。来，下一张很简单啊。
你的是什么呢？
真的，他是嘛？他有说啊。我现在能够想哪一个？
你有毛病啊！这么中性的一个纸条，你把演的指向性这么重。
没有，可是我要想出一个人选，说他很想啊，那怎么办呢？
不需要。
不是，
你想干嘛？
你又看了一艘船，为什么好敏感？怎么这么多元素啊？
哎呀，
这么多元素啊！
哇，
那你干嘛要读？
挖圈者哎，这么中 心的写，我以为他是写的本。没有，
说一个，刚刚谁我演谁
啊？
我演谁？现在最摆明的。
首富海峡两岸不分男女，可以讲一些这些东西啊。请听我的证件。但是至少不会那种。
那个不要
你
打，
这个你拿着啊。
因为我想要融入这个剧本啊。
好，这个
对不起啊！
而且你知道吗？在那个时候刚好时间到，所以闪红光。
好了，这个玩笑而已，我选错了。我还想说不会，不可能是那别人，还有谁啊？我还可以选他，对不起，好不好？我们和好，好不好？和好，来和好。
你自身难保。
我们有共识，我们有共识。
没有共识，没有共识，我们的共识就是没有共识。
Oh my god！I
agree or disagree， 好不好？
好，洗掉，
今天要洗掉东西太多了，今天我要去洗车场洗澡了。来，剪刀石头布。
哎，你也太强了吧！
何瑞康，拜托你了，
就不要抽这种纸条就好了。
不要把它演成那个方向，我很害怕。
没有，现在是大事，每天刷新闻就看到这个，怎么办啊？
今天是我的局了，好不好？麻烦你们了。
OK， 我先来看，好，小编请。
哎呦，这么难啊？应该这么好笑吗？
哈利做起来很有趣吗？
好。
你们想看他做是不是？
好，哈利结束了啊，
那就让你们看够。
帮我了，来纸条去收。哇，好。
何宇康，读清楚哦。
没有，这不可能，这绝对不可能啊！
不可能啊！
不可能，相信我，
吐槽不出来。
不可能，你少来，你不要往那去。对，绝对你要放下，不是。好，两位请起。
OK， 好，第二轮。
好，
第二轮挑战再度是康哈利 ，Ready， start！终于追到你了啦！
来决斗吧！
你送错餐，没有错餐。战斗陀螺啊！
好晕，我好晕。
不要站着用免治马桶啊！然后被免治马桶冲到倒在地上了。你是鳗鱼啊？你是尾鱼吗？五马分尸啊！你被切成好几段，渡过长流了。
你是鱼片的。
你
被气死了吗？
你滚去哪里啊？你这尸体要滚去哪啊？你被分尸了之后滚去哪啊？你被绑架了，你才不你好焦虑哦，
你们是一体的。
连体婴啊！
跟你切八段哦。对不起，我放弃吐槽这个位置。
你到底在演什么？
对啊，他演的是
有做
对的吗？
出来吗？
我好奇，我真的好奇，
大家，
我自行惭愧。
我可以看看吗？
你要演了。
对，
来，
看一下。
来。
哦，你可以，我帮你。好，
可以了哦，好来。
哎呀，咔，
你才不烤香肠啊你！你的香肠滚去哪里啊？
切的太用力了，你不需要扮演香肠的心境。
我就是香肠，香肠就是我啊！
搞什么？看出你是一只香肠，当你把自己，我以为在漏气，是香蕉船，你知道吗？
冒烟了！
你这是小手手好不好？
哎，只有这一区哦。
对，
好来，
给我一个这个好吗？洗霸之类的可以吗？
我怕你又想错了嘛。
好，我们来看一下哈利的。
我的是
啊，厉害！
马上跟上，真的很厉害。
完全啪啪啪啪啪了，好不好？
耶！
不用吧，没有吧。
来看看刚刚的。对，他有烤肉石骨，烤肉石在哪里呀？
我整个过程哎，我演的整个过程。
没有，因为我觉得他烤出来
整个过程哎，我从没有熟到熟透哎，
油爆出来，
我滚了还被捡回来煮哎，
对不起，我跟你说，没有客观环境的情况之下，我真的看不出你是只烤香肠，你知道吗？
我觉得是心情的问题。
我刚刚还用你们两个演的什么？
包小肠。
我说你们两个是一体的。你们两个我是白色的，我是烤焦的。
好用心的，心里的剧情解析之后，一切变得好用心了。
是啊。
但这个大肠包小肠的尺寸也不对。
现在很多是这种的，
臂长超短的，好讨厌。好，延到结束下一个啦。来，我们好好打康第10季第2集要来了，时间什么时候了？来，何瑞康。
6月27到7月25啊，连跨几周啊，也是哇。
哎，在哪些地方？
在哪些地方？
跟大家讲唱一下。
台北，
哎呦，
桃园，台中，高雄，
哇，高雄，
好不好？
我们的售票系统呢是 OpenTix， 只要搜寻好了打康就可以找到了，大家赶快去找。
来，第10季第2集哦，欢迎大家进场来看我们表演，谢谢大家。
好了，来到我们这个环节是听你的荷兰啦。好了，这个环节是什么呢？基本上就是一个吹牛的游戏。那大家进场之后填写一张纸条，上面写着一个没有形容词的物件或人物。那等一下呢，我们就用大家的纸条来进行我们的吹牛游戏的挑战。好，那每轮呢会有2个人知道纸条内容是什么，1个人是不知道。那这个不知道的人呢，就要负责猜出那纸条内容，以及揭发另外2个人描述这纸条的时候的谎言是什么。
对，
不过我们计时2分钟嘛，
前30秒的时候一定要说实话，好吧？
对，不能说
绝对猜不到的。
是的，
后面的1分半呢，就会有人开始莫名其妙说点谎，那我们可以抓或者猜答案。
是的。好，那等一下我们猜拳。好，我们造轮吧，最赢的人最先猜。
OK。
最输的人最后留恋。
那飞过去了吗？
好，没有我在想，
连灵魂飞走了，把他拉回来。
想好，跟刚刚一样，跟上一场一样吗？
对，好，跟上5场。
what you did? You went against the Triads!
Cielo.
Ah, shit.
Goldie!
Let's go.
Isama!
Cielo!
There you are! No, for sure they found you and ripped your throat out.
Okay. We should talk in private.
What the hell, Cielo? What is going on?
Did they follow you?
I think I lost them.
What do we do now?
Maybe we should get out of town until this all blows over. This is not gonna blow over, Cielo. You fucked with the Chinese mafia. How did they find us so fast? Davina, do you know how to hotwire a car?
What? You watch way too many freaking movies.
Hey, you guys hungry? I recommend the Kung Pao.
Whoa! Cut her fucking head off!
Easy. I give up, okay? You win. I'm the one you want. Just let her go.
Get on your knees!
All right, just take it easy.
Please! He made a mistake. That's all it was. Kill them all! That's your...
Madam Sue? You play the part of a fighter, but you are lacking in kung fu.
Rise over the skies, city of blood.
That's Pai Chen!
Survivor.
Who's Pai Chan?
What?
Rolling like dice. Once you're inside, there's no surrender.
まあやっぱり龍が如くスタジオが作る作品なんですけど、龍が如くとも違うものを作りたいなと思っていて、でなぜ彼らが戦うのかっていうところで、まあ僕が考えるリアリティラインっていうのをまあ設定するっていう作業はまあ結構大変だったですね。設定を考えるのにはやっぱり1年ぐらいかかって、キャラクターたちがどういうバックボーンでどういう目的で戦っていくのかっていうところはまあかなり時間をかけたなと思ってます。今回の設定とかを、まあこういう
American who called earlier. The sister of the man on the third floor. Ah, welcome to Paris. It's so nice to meet you. Oh, it's freezing. Come in. Come in. We don't want you to catch a cold. I hate to say it, but your brother is, well, quite odd. In we go. Oh là là. Mais quelle pagaille. He's made such a mess again. Think, I just cleaned it up a week ago. It's like a boulder rolled through here. Huh? Ah, the delightful biscuit. I'm sure he won't notice if we help ourselves. Oh, I'm so sorry. It must be the maintenance man from this morning. Won't be long. I'll bring some nice coffee to go with the biscuit.
Don't move. Claire Redfield.
我们是达康的康，大家好。
各位，我跟你说，我应该有跟你说过吧？有一件事情就是我老家是高雄嘛，然后我老家附近现在改建成一堆高级豪宅，一堆。
哦，我有听你讲过，附近都是啊，梦时代那个地方。
真的。然后我心里就很担心，就想说哪一天我回家，然后发现我家也突然变高级豪宅，那怎么办？你不觉得吗？
不会突然变成好不好？逻辑也太跳了吧？
不是，我是说有些建商啊，有些建商他们会想办法买走你的地，想要改建，现在很常见啊。
啊，的确会有这种事情啊。
真的。
那我跟你讲，你遇到这种情况的话，你就条件不好，你就不要接受。
不是啊，可是听说有些建商会用一些手段把你弄走，很麻烦。
的确啦，真的很讨厌。
对嘛？来到你家门口，每天来啰里啰嗦的，真的是。
我跟你说，这样你绝对不能退让哦，就是要硬一点，
硬一点。
不是那个硬一点，好不好？我们不要回到牛肉场的部分，好吗？不是那个硬一点，态度硬一点。
哦，态度硬一点。
态度硬一点，对。
我们态度要怎么硬一点？我其实蛮不懂的。
比如说我在家，你来找我示范给你看。
哦，你要硬一点。
这乖乖。
陈彦达先生，陈彦达先生，
干嘛？
陈彦达先生，你在家吗？不要躲在家里面了，好不好？快出去找工作，好不好？拜托一下，你不要在外家的爸爸妈妈房子要卖掉了，你每天
你还这是我爸妈，我不是啃老族，好不好？这好歹是我的房子吧？
不起啊，说实在。
我知道，
你应该买不起。
我知道，但这不是重点。现在在教你怎么对抗那些不良建商，好吗？
哦，好，你要硬一点啊。
对，硬一点，我会硬一点。好，来，再一次。
陈先生，陈先生，陈先生，陈老先生，陈老先生，小陈啊，
越叫越亲密，怎么设定？
小陈，小陈在吗？小陈，
不要理他就好了。
对，没有人住了，猜吧。
等一下，太快了吧？有人住啊？
有人住啊？
有人住啊？
陈先生在里面吗？
在啊，废话，只是想跟你谈而已啊。
啊，陈先生，我今天是来很诚恳的给你一些建议的。
我不需要你的建议。
对，你听我说，你先冷静一点，听我说。你等一下在房子里面不要站窗户太近哦。我们等下拆的时候，那玻璃喷出来的时候，你
怎么给我直接拆啊？
你小心一点啊！
不是这种建议吧？
陈先生，你终于愿意打开门了。
刚刚怎样骗我开门而已，是不是？
啊，不是，我们想房子拆掉的时候，你这边逃比较快啊。
还就真的给我拆啊？你不准拆，什么鬼单位啊？
稍等我一下，喂，下来，我下来，不要拆，不要拆，啊，先不要拆，来，停手，把那个手上的木棍放下来，放下来。
用木棍拆吗？
放下。
你们什么原始人部队啊？
原始人已经会用锤子了，现在。
不要跟我讲这个啦，那你们比原始人还要不如啊！
石器时代已经有石锤、石斧、石矛。
跟我讲这斗知识干嘛你？我不想知道你的考古魂呐。
好，那陈先生，你先把这个工地帽戴好，我们先往楼下移动。
还是要给我拆啊？搞什么？等一下，你这强拆了吧？
你没有硬起来啊？
我没有时间硬起来，好吗？
那要给你多少时间你才硬得起来？
这段对话是要被黄标是不是啊？谈判的时候态度硬起来好吗？
谈判的时候才可以啊。
对，谈判的时候。
先生你好，我是代表我们公司来跟你谈谈的，这样子。
我跟你讲，谈都谈不下去，你们之前就派人来过嘛，没办法谈呐。
真的，我们之前已经派人来过了。
对。
哎，我帮你确认一下，等我一下。没，
还是原始人啊。最好是谈得下去啊，原始人的语言。还笑哎？在讲什么？还笑？完了，啪啪七什么东西啊？
先生我先跟你解释一下，翻译一下，就是他说那个，就同学们觉得小明很机车，有一天他就被骑走了。
冷笑话你，讲什么冷笑话？讲我事情吧。
就是他讲完这个冷笑话之后，后来有讲一下你的事情啊。首先你这个案子是这个样子哦。首先他不知道，所以呢。
知道啊。不知道给我先说不知道啊！为什么要讲？不要继续讲好不好？我有原始人啊，这什么时空交错了吗？笑太开心了吧？都在讲你笑那么开心啊？水吧？
先生，你误会了，这不是什么原始人的话，这是我们这个公司里面的行话暗语啊。
你们健身公司还有暗语啊？
对，就是我们上班的时候很忙很辛苦啊，老板很严格不让休息嘛，然后我们就想说在闲暇时间可以讲点笑话，用这个比较方便这个样子。
你为了讲笑话发展了一个语言系统吗？你们太有心了吧？
先生你好，虽然我不知道上一位是怎么跟你谈这件事情的啦哈，但今天你给我一个机会，我一定会给你一个满意的结果嘛，一定满意。
好，不要说我不会做人，好，我给你一个机会说，好，来，
小明他的脸长得很像风筝，
不用跟我讲笑话好不好？我没有满意这部分呐。
没有，我想说转换一下刚刚气氛，
完全没有转换到，你赶快说重点
啊！是好，那陈先生，我今天来这个地方呢，就是来跟你谈一谈的。
影片嘛，这么传统
这是我和我家人的合照，谢谢。
不需要跟我合照吧？干嘛啊？
这我想要深入的自我介绍一下
啊。
来，你看一下。左边这位矮矮的头发卷卷的妇女是我妈妈，然后右边那位矮矮的头发卷卷的是我爸爸。
全家人都要介绍。
然后左边那位矮矮的头发卷卷的是我哥哥啊。然后后面
根本不是你们家小孩吧？什么都没有遗传到哎。
有一个医学专家曾经跟我解释过，这是一个人类基因的正常现象啊。
隐性基因吗？
完全变态。
昆虫是不是啊？咨询错专家了。
右边那一位这个矮矮的头发卷卷。
不要介绍头发卷卷的人好不好？直接介绍你在哪里就好了。
好的。那个拍照这位是我，拍照这位。
我在照片里面啊，给我看这张照片干嘛？
不好意思，我找一下有我的照片。
还有，你在整本照片出来是不是啊？
稍等一下。
找到了没啊？里面没有一张有你吗？不要给我回忆起来，你赶快啊！
这不好意思，
介绍吗你？
陈先生，你看一下。
越来越大本，
你看一下。
家族相本都给我带出来了。
这个是我国中我们班的毕业照，你看一下。
毕业纪念册啊？
你看一下。
人太多了，这视觉年龄差，我根本看不出来是你啊。
没有，你仔细看，正中间这位嘛，脸被涂黑的就是我。
脸被涂黑了吗？你有什么不堪回忆的过往吗？还真的有啊。还好吗？还好。这个笑容不太对哦。对啊，崩溃了吗？
怎么可能？
可能吧。你现在满脸就崩溃的样子啊。
小明怎么会被骑走啊？
还在笑冷笑话？还在笑冷笑话吗？大脑还停留在那部分的回忆吗？
被骑走的是我啊。
果然是被霸凌了。还好吗？没事吧？你先不要难过啊！不要拿别人真的打自己好，你现在也很有出息了嘛，对不对？你看帮健身公司谈
现在的我。
哦，变正向了。
所以相信我，你也一定可以撑过没有房子的那段时间的，好吗？
什么样搬的意思好不好
加油？
这样用苦肉计是没有用，我跟你说。
好吧，陈，这个拿着，
干嘛？这种礼数就免了，好不好？
这是我们老家特别种的这个高山乌龙啊。
啊，茶叶我还蛮喜欢的。
刚泡好，你小心它。
茶壶啊，有人这样送茶的吗？
啊，这个是我们的卡斯瓦斯炉。
是拿比较泡茶是不是？
这个礼盒
又是什么？
礼盒有一点重量啊，因为是我们老板个人的一点小心意啊。对啊，你亲自点一下，你还亲自
就跟你说不是钱的问题，你们
香氛蜡烛他手做的
蜡烛啊，是要点蜡烛啊。
你不要在外面，你进去再点。
不需要，讲跟点钞票一样，不用，这都不用啊。
好的，陈先生，
干嘛啊？
今天我来就是特别来倾听的，我倾听你的所有的烦恼，你所有的担忧，你所有条件不满意，你都可以跟我说。你其实不要跟别人说，你跟我说。
我就跟你讲最后一次了。
你跟我说，我会反映给我老板。
我
老板
说我这
反映的，
闭嘴啊！请听啊，请听就一直讲。
对，我是来
闭嘴啊！我就跟你们说过了，我这个地方住的好好的，对不对？
是。
我房子也好好的，没事吧？为什么搬啊？
哦，可是我们是盖一个更新更大的来分给你啊，陈先生。
就不是新不新旧不旧的问题嘛。
啊，那不然我们盖好40年后你再来住嘛，也是旧的。
谁要啊？40年后就说你就挂了，好不好？而且不是旧不旧好吗？是这里有很多我的回忆
啊。是有些回忆不要想起来比较好。
不要把你人生经验套在我身上，好不好？我的回忆都是美好的回忆啊。
如果你今天不卖给我的话，我的回忆会更不好，先生。
少他妈情勒我，关我屁事啊！走开啊！而且你每次那个建设公司盖房子，有没有？一年半就这样过去了。我要租房子，我还要搬家的钱。
我懂，陈先生，那不然这样哦，我们每个月都给你一些优惠补助，你觉得呢？
你要给我租金吗？
我们每个月2包米1只鸡，你觉得怎么样？
什么清末民初的补助方式啊？
不够吗？
废话，当然不够啊！我先不说那只鸡要怎么杀好，
是
1个月1只鸡，我要怎么吃？
那2包米是给那只鸡的，你干嘛？
哦，鸡是拿来养的，
鸡是拿来下蛋的。
你补助是鸡蛋啊？还有这种麻烦的方式，谁要啊？
不要吗？不然这样，我们帮你找别间房子嘛，好不好？我帮你找一下。
大きな損失よ。こんな失態を見逃す会社ではない。これは最後のチャンス。Do you understand?
That beavers are super awkward on land. With their webbed feet and huge tail that drags on the ground, beavers are not good at running, making them easy pickings for land predators.
So, if you're a beaver, you want to spend as little time on land as possible.
So, by making dams, they create deep pools of water, which allows them to transform from wobbly wolf snacks into elegant professional swimmers who can spin and twirl and
Can hold their breath for up to 15 minutes.
15 minutes?
Yeah, they're like a magical animal. Yeah, they're just incredible.
Pretty epic hiding place. Now, hundreds of years ago, in the time of Jose's great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandparents, the woods of North America was full of beavers,
There were probably several 100 million beavers.
making dams and ponds everywhere, even in New York City.
There would have been beavers all over New York City.
That's right, the Big Apple was once.
The Beaver City.
And the beavers of Beaver City would wake up every evening, that's right, beavers are mostly nocturnal, in their beaver homes and hit the road, or the stream, I guess, and get to work.
Hey, I'm waddling here.
Hauling stones and sticks and redirecting water, and finishing off each day with a nightcap of sweet wood juice.
Manhattan Island was one of the most lush, incredible ecosystems on the eastern seaboard, and beavers were part of what made it that way.
But about 400 years ago, all of that would change because of the arrival of Europeans and their insatiable desire for
Hats.
hats?
Top hats and cocked hats, trapper hats with ear flaps, Wellingtons and sugar loaves. That's another name for witch hats.
Made of beaver fur. Sorry, guys. They killed them off by the millions for the fur trade. And as the beavers began to be killed off, the land and waterways began to change. Pretty dramatically. Like, take the river that slides through the northern part of New York City, winding beside train tracks and beneath highways today. It's called the Bronx River.
It was described as an open sewer.
That's Christian Murphy. He works on the Bronx River today.
It was really just an elongated landfill.
And over the centuries, more and more animals disappeared from the river, including the few remaining beavers. And by the 1970s,
Parents told their kids, don't go down there. It's not safe.
because for decades, companies all along the river used it as a convenient dump for their waste. And people had just given up on the Bronx River. They thought it was just too polluted to care about.
In many places, you couldn't see the water because of how thick the trash was.
Until one day, someone said,
You know what? This river does not need to look like this. This river could be beautiful. This river could be full of life.
inspired in part by the first Earth Day in 1970, a couple of folks from the neighborhood, like a lady named Ruth and a guy named Fred, they put on gloves and boots and began picking up the trash. Bag by bag, day by day. And at first, people kind of laughed. They thought, what good is a couple of bags of trash gonna do? This whole river's polluted. But then some kids joined in,
Let's do this. High five.
scooping out trash by the huge garbage bag full. And eventually someone very powerful joined in too.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Congressman. His name was Jose Serrano, with a big friendly smile and a bigger bushy mustache,
Let's roll up our sleeves and start to clean.
who directed millions of dollars to the cleanup project, ordering in trucks with big cranes to fish out refrigerators and cars, and helping to change the rules over where factories could dump their toxic waste. And soon,
The river began to respond.
the water got cleaner, and the forest began to regrow around it, bringing in more bugs bugs and birds until a little creature popped its whiskered head out of the water.
And it was a beaver.
Jose!
After an absence of more than 200 years, the beaver has come back to New York City.
And so they named him Jose in honor of that congressman who'd been an early believer that a little awkward human effort could make a big difference.
What an honor!
And the fact that Jose the beaver showed up in the Bronx River wasn't just a sign that the water was getting cleaner, because beavers clean the river too, just by being there and being beavers. See, there's a hidden power to beaver dams. They actually make everything around them healthier.
And that happens in a few different ways.
So first, there's the water. The dams act like purifiers that filter out pollution like trash and even
Chemicals from agriculture.
which get trapped in the dam and drop down into the soil instead of getting carried out to sea. Second, dams cool the air. Because the pools that dams create mean more water is being evaporated into the air. And so when it's hot, it's kind of like a mini air conditioning unit, making it more hospitable to all kinds of creatures. Third, dams enrich the soil. Nutrients in the water get stuck and drop down into the earth, which creates more fertile ground. And fourth, the real biggie. All of this combined allows new life to sprout. Algae, grasses, cattails, and flowers, which attract
Baby trout and salmon.
and dragonflies and butterflies and
Frogs and salamanders.
and then birds come.
Woodpeckers and herons.
And pretty soon, coyotes and foxes, and in some regions,
Moose will come down there to eat all of the aquatic vegetation growing in the ponds.
Thank you, Beebs!
and in Jose's case, after just a few years of him hanging out in the Bronx River,
Somebody looked and squinted their eyes and said, wait a minute, there's a second beaver there. There are two beavers.
Sacre beef! Another beaver!
And so Jose and the second beaver, they were roommates,
Classic New Yorkers.
sharing rent on the river, sharing groceries, cutting down the same trees together. And it gets better.
I can't imagine it getting any better. But it does. Because you've maybe heard of a little-known pop star named Justin Bieber? Well, they held a naming contest, and
And the second beaver was named Justin Bieber.
Beaver, 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 oh! There's gonna be one less lonely beaver.
thank you, Alan. Jose and Justin lived together for years, munching on wood, swimming with their eyes peeking out of the water, and slowly but surely increasing the biodiversity of the river and the forest around it. And as time has ticked on, the river has only grown healthier, welcoming back snapping turtles and sunfish, and even, as was spotted in 2023,
2 dolphins swimming around in the Bronx River.
no, yes, dolphins? Yep. Okay. Go Beavers. Imagine if, like, everywhere you walked, you just sprouted flowers and life followed you. That would be nuts. I mean, how long does it actually take? Like, once a dam goes in, is it years before you start seeing this greening effect? No, that's the thing. It's super fast. Like, within a couple of months, there'll be cattails and lily pads and swamp roses blooming. Okay, so just to recap everything these funky little guys are doing to the world around them. Their dams are cleaning the water, cooling the air, making the soil richer, and increasing biodiversity in these pretty dramatic ways. Yep. But that's it, right? Like, there can't be anything else. There's so much more. Our next storyteller thinks beavers can even fight fire. Find out how after this break.
Every story from Shortwave NPR Science Podcast starts with a question. Like, why do we have nightmares? How does AI affect my energy bill? At NPR, we are here for your right to be curious about the world around you. Follow Shortwave wherever you get your podcasts, because the more you ask, the more interesting the world gets.
Look, up in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. No, it's beavers parachuting down from the clouds?
Crates full of beavers. Part of a shipment to be dropped from an airplane.
No, this is not an old-fashioned cartoon. It's something that our governments actually did in the 1940s and 50s.
Some folks in a couple of different states put them in boxes and then dropped those boxes out of airplanes with parachutes on them and let them land in the mountains to do good for us, like move them from the cities to the mountains.
You're kidding right now, right?
They literally pushed them out of planes. Idaho did this, California did this.
This is Dr. Emily Fairfax, and she explains that this was the government's weird idea for pest control. They took beavers that were being nuisances, turning people's yards and farmlands to swamps, and then just dropped them off in the mountains.
They are live trapped and moved to distant mountain lakes and streams, where their efforts will aid to conserve water, provide fishing pools.
Instead of taking them out on a horseback or a car, they dropped them out of planes, but, I give them credit for trying.
Now into the air and down they swing, down to the ground near a stream or a lake.
Emily gives them credit because she, too, is trying to bring more beavers out into the wild, where they might be able to do some good for the planet. Although that did not used to be her job. Far from it. She used to be an engineer who worked on
Weapons.
weapons.
Nuclear weapons.
Whoa.
Very different career path.
But she happened to turn on the TV one night and catch a nature documentary.
And they were showing all these aerial shots of beaver dams and wetlands in the desert, and they were bright green. And I was like, what? Beavers live in the desert? How can they keep it green when everything's so dry?
And she realized that just like her, beavers were engineers.
Using all of their engineering to live a good life.
And mend the world around them.
And I wanted that for myself, so I started studying beavers, and I haven't looked back since.
Emily hung up her nuclear weapons coat and put on some rubber overalls for a new job following beavers through wetlands to try to learn how they do what they do. And eventually she came to focus on this one little family of beavers that lived up high in a mountain in Northern California in a creek.
It's called Little Last Chance Creek.
So she called the family the Little Last Chance Beavers. There was a mom, a dad, and
there were definitely 3 to 4 babies there.
Aw. And she started watching them literally taking notes as they constructed their intricate dams and lodges.
We're logging a busy day at work.
And she discovered that on really hot, sweaty days inside a beaver's house,
it's cold in there.
You've been in a beaver lodge?
I have.
And on super cold days outside, it's super toasty.
So the beavers sleep in a big snuggle pile in one room.
Oh,
it's very sweet.
That's really
They kind of snore sometimes. It's extremely cute.
And Emily learned that their family members weren't the only ones staying warm in there.
They might have mice that want to come live inside the lodge with them. They might have muskrats that want to live inside the lodge with them. They might have little snakes that want to live inside the lodge with them.
They allow this? They allow these trespassers?
Oh, absolutely. It's kind of like they're running a little bed and breakfast, which I call a bee and beef. That's one of my horrible jokes.
Winter turned to spring, spring to summer, and then one day, there was a spark. And the dry grasslands and forests around the Little Last Chance Beaver family caught fire and began burning and burning.
It was a really devastating fire. It burned a lot of forest.
This was back in the summer of 2021, and it became one of those mega fires we're seeing more and more of because of climate change. Thousands of people had to be evacuated, hundreds of houses burned down. And as for the plants and critters of the mountains,
it seems like absolutely everything has burned.
By October, humans were finally able to extinguish the fire. But Emily had no idea what happened to those beavers.
Could they have survived the fire?
So one day, she began the long drive up the mountain.
And the drive up is very disheartening because everything is just blackened and it's silent, which was the creepiest and strangest part to me. So I'm not feeling super confident.
But she keeps driving.
And we find a route in.
They get out of the car and begin walking. And suddenly,
it is loud. It is splashing water, there's all sorts of birds, there's lots of bugs, there's a lot of wind in the trees and the grasses and the rustling you expect.
Oh, wait. And even there being wind in the trees means there's still trees standing.
There's still trees. The pine trees that were near it are fine. The trees that are in the wetland are fine.
It was completely green.
Completely unburnt. Not even just like a little burnt. Like they were unburnt. And when I got there, like honestly, it was like tears in my eyes.
Why tears?
Because I drove past the burned houses coming up and the burned roads and all the things that we wanted to protect and couldn't. And thinking about the future of climate change and knowing that this is the future that's coming, that's a really difficult reality to wrap your head around. I was living in California at the time. Like, I was seeing my future there. And then getting up to the beaver wetland, it was a very hopeful moment because sometimes it feels like we're all out of ideas and it's not working. But then right in front of me, something is clearly working. And even if we don't know exactly why or how yet, we can learn from it.
And as for the Little Last Chance beavers?
I did stay out in the evening and saw both mom and dad swimming. And when they were out swimming, I could hear 3, maybe 4 different young beaver whines coming from where the lodge was.
They made it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just them. When Emily looked at the area from way high up in space from a satellite, she saw something incredible. This halo of green around the beaver's dams. She guessed that this one little family, these 5 or 6 awkward beings, had saved about 7.5 acres of land from burning.
Yeah, that effect is called making fire refugia. It's a patch that doesn't burn that other things can use.
Refugia is a fancy word, sort of like for refuge. It's just like place that is safe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Exactly.
Refugia. I love this word. I have not stopped thinking about it since Emily taught it to me. How might we all create a little refuge around us for the other beings of this world? Even if we are clumsy and awkward and waddling and tired. I think about the people in the Bronx, those first 2 or 3 people who started picking up trash.
We got this.
And eventually created a ripple effect that cleaned up the river. These things can happen. They do happen in the human world and in the animal world. That day at the beaver dam, Emily saw frogs and birds and even a bear. Creatures she suspects might not have survived the fire without that beaver family. And that's why she has come to see beavers as firefighters.
Yeah, they're spreading water out across the whole landscape that's keeping everything nice and green and healthy and stopping it from being easy to burn.
Emily has tested this effect in mountains and forests and deserts.
And so far what we've seen is that they are really good at making fireproof patches pretty much everywhere.
Little rings of green that you can literally see from space.
You know, when we talk about restoring nature, we don't always know how to do that. But guess what? Beavers instinctively know what it's supposed to look like.
That's Beaver Believer Ben again. He and Emily both work in different ways to inspire and convince people to protect beavers.
One of the mantras of the Beaver Believer goes, let the rodent do the work. They'll store water for us, they'll capture pollution, they'll help us fight wildfires, they'll create habitat for all of the fish we like to eat and the birds we like to watch and so on. They do all of this stuff for us if we let them.
Another mantra, be more beaver. What if we too worked to build structures that actually mended instead of harmed the land? As pie in the sky or impossible as that may seem, there are people already out there doing just that. Following in the beaver's footsteps, waddling awkwardly toward a better world, one step at a time.
We see the ripple effect. You make a big splash.
change the world for
Alan Goferinsky. Gofinsky, everybody. He used real beaver tail slaps as percussion in that. And that's it. There's nothing else cool about it. How it goes. What's that?
Excuse me, I have a question. Me too. Me4.
The Badgers. Listeners, badgering questions for our expert. Are you ready?
Absolutely.
Hi, my name is Felix, and I'm 6 years old. Do baby beavers have baby teeth?
Yep.
Not the big buck teeth, but some of the side teeth, which are called cheek teeth. Cheek teeth, cheek teeth, cheek teeth. Say that 10 times fast.
My name is Remy, and I'm 6 years old. Since beavers eat wood, what does their poop look like?
Well, they do the double poop.
The double poop? What does that mean? They poop once, and then what?
They eat that again,
Oh,
and then when it comes out, it looks like a sawdust marshmallow. And the little sawdust marshmallows, if you dry them out, they're actually great fire starters.
what? Have you ever done that?
I have burned one to see if it could burn, and it burned just fine.
Now that's what I call a useful nugget.
Hi, my name is Tyler. I'm 39 years old. I am trying to figure out how do beavers raised in captivity know how to build a dam, even if they've never seen a river?
They learn from their instincts and also from following around their parents and brothers and sisters and trying to do what they do.
Wait, so are there regional differences in architectural style? Like how you get Swedish modernism or Southwestern adobe?
Anecdotally, yeah, there are. And some of them built some really weird dams.
Really?
And
Like how so?
like at 90-degree angles from one another, like zigzagging instead of having nice curvy shapes.
Huh.
They like teach their kids what's available to build with. It could be garbage, mud. I have seen cow bones. I have seen all sorts of interesting things.
Spooky! A dam made out of bones? Like a
I
skeleton
actually-
dam?
No joke, I saw that on a Halloween field tour, and I thought someone had like set it up for me.
Haunted lodge.
Yeah.
Haunted dam.
There's like cow knuckle bones and a femur, and they're just like integrated into this dam. It's like unreal.
And that's where we gotta leave it with the spooky beaver dam. And I won't tell you that vanilla ice cream, candy, yogurt, and many perfumes used to be made with an oil that came from the beaver's booty. It was called castoreum, and that's true. If you used to eat like vanilla ice cream or certain candies back in the time of like your great-great-grandparents, you were actually tasting beaver bum. I won't tell you that because I'm nice, but I did learn it in Beaver Believer Ben Goldfarb's great book called Eager, The Surprising Secret Life of Beavers and Why They Matter. Highly recommend you check it out. And that'll do it for today. Terrestrials was created by me, Lulu Miller, with WNYC Studios. Our executive producer is Sarah Sandbach. This episode was produced by the naughty, gnawing on wood, Ana Gonzalez. Tail slappingly good sound design by Mira Burtwin-Tonic. Our team also includes Alan Gafinsky, Tanya Chawla, and Jim Plord. Fact-checking by Diane Kelly. She would not let us get anything wrong. Wood, spelled W-O-O-D. Support for Terrestrials is provided by the Simons Foundation, the Arthur Riding Davis Foundations, and the John Templeton Foundation. Thank you! We have got new episodes turning out every 2 weeks. We hope you'll listen and subscribe to the Radio Lab for Kids feed, and tell your friends. It really helps our chances of getting to keep going. We also have a social media where Alan drops Frog Fact Friday videos every Friday. Frog Fact Friday! And we also have animated music videos, contests, and just like me saying hello in various natural places. That's at Terrestrials Podcast. And if you want to submit a Badgers question, sign up for our newsletter, or check out past episodes, just head on over to www.terrestrialspodcast.org. Okay, hopefully all those links would work for you. Would work? Nah. Okay, be very careful out there. Go sink your teeth into some good stuff. And see you in a couple of spins of this dirty old planet of ours.
Hi, I'm Maddie, and I'm from Frederick, Maryland. Leadership support for Radiolab's science programming is provided by the Simmons Foundation and the John Templeton Foundation. Foundational support for Radiolab was provided by the Alfred P. Sloan Foundation.
actually lived together for years, munching on wood, swimming with
WNYC's journalism and storytelling is heard by millions of passionate listeners. Sponsors of our programming gain our listeners' attention and their respect. Learn about how your organization can support WNYC and WNYC Studios at sponsorship.wnyc.org.
Big news! Radiolab is headed to the Tribeca Festival podcast stage for a special live show in NYC. We'll be headlining the podcast program with this.
Okay. Go Beavers. I mean, imagine if, like, everywhere you walked, you just sprouted flowers. Life followed. Oh, that would be nice. I mean, how long does it actually take? Like, once a dam goes in, is it years before you start seeing this greening? No, that's the thing. It's super fast. Like, within a couple of months, there'll be cattails and lily pads and swamp roses blooming. Okay, so just to recap everything these funky little guys are doing to the world around them. Their dams are cleaning the water, cooling the air, making the soil richer, and increasing biodiversity in these pretty dramatic ways. But that's it, right? Like, there can't be anything else.
There's so much more.
Our next storyteller thinks beavers can even fight fire. Find out how after this break. Radiolab is sponsored by BetterHelp. What do you think when you hear the word summer? Do you think heat? Do you think beach? Do you think travel? Do you think sand? Do you think long nights but still having to get up early? Do you think juggling summer camp schedules and attending weddings perhaps without a date? Do you think malaise or overwhelm or summertime sadness? Look, just because it's nice out doesn't mean juggling it all suddenly got easier. Summer evening is fun. BetterHelp is one easy way to find licensed therapists.
対戦モードに関しては、格闘ゲームファンの皆さんがやっぱり安心していただけるようなモードはやっぱり用意していて、今回そのナラティブとかをすごく重要視はしてるんですけども、電源入れたらすぐに1対1が遊べるような、そういった
操作で楽しめるゲームだったんですよね。直感的な操作だけでも遊べるっていう部分は大事にしたいと思っているので、そこを守りながら新しく今回ブラッシュアップするし、一から見直しているっていう感じになるかなと思います。
思うし、まずそういう表現をしたいっていうところから入ってどういうゲーム性になるかみたいなことを考えてました。
技が多かったりするのにも複雑さ、その奥深さっていうものを合わせ持たなきゃいけない。さっきの簡単な操作で遊べるっていうところでもう一度見直すっていう話と、相反するように聞こえるかもしれないんですけど、
それ自分を持っていて、一つはテクニックですね。やっぱりそのコマンドの正確さであったりとか、それこそプレイヤー自身の反応速度で、もう一つは知識ですね。コンボの知識とかがやっぱり豊富だとダメージ効率を上げることができるので、それで相手より優位に立つことができる。でもう一つは読みっていうところがあって、この技を出した後にこの人こうするなみたいなのをすごく見抜くプレイヤーさんとかいたりとかして、その3つのバランスがバーチャファイター。
They took beavers that were being nuisances, turning people's yards and farmlands to swamps, and then just dropped them off in the mountains.
Instead of like taking them out on a horseback or a car, they trapped them out of planes. But I give them credit for trying.
Now into the air and down they swing, down to the ground near a stream or a lake.
Emily gives them credit because she too is trying to bring more beavers out into the wild, where they might be able to do some good for the planet. Although that did not used to be her job, far from it. She used to be an engineer who worked on
weapons. Nuclear weapons.
Whoa.
Very different career path.
But she happened to turn on the TV one night and catch a nature documentary.
And they were showing all these aerial shots of beaver dams and wetlands in the desert, and they were bright green. And I was like, what? Beavers live in the desert? How can they keep it green when everything's so dry?
And she realized that just like her, beavers were engineers.
Using all of their engineering to live a good life
and mend the world around them.
and I wanted that for myself. So I started studying beavers, and I haven't looked back since.
Emily hung up her nuclear weapons coat and put on some rubber overalls for a new job following beavers through wetlands to try to learn how they do what they do. And eventually she came to focus on this one little family of beavers that lived up high in a mountain in Northern California in a creek.
It's called Little Last Chance Creek.
So she called the family the Little Last Chance Beavers. There was a mom, a dad, and
there were definitely 3 to 4 babies there.
Aw. And she started watching them, literally taking notes as they constructed their intricate dams and lodges.
Logging a busy day at work.
And she discovered that on really hot, sweaty days inside a beaver's house,
it's cold in there.
You've been in a beaver lodge?
I have.
And on super cold days outside, it's super toasty.
So the beavers sleep in a big snuggle pile in like one room.
Oh,
it's very sweet.
That's rude.
They kind of snore sometimes. It's extremely cute.
And Emily learned that their family members weren't the only ones staying warm in there.
They might have mice that want to come live inside the lodge with them. They might have muskrats that want to live inside the lodge with them. They might have little snakes that want to live inside the lodge with them.
They allow this? They allow these trespassers?
Oh, absolutely. It's kind of like they're running a little bed and breakfast, which I call a B&B. This is my formal jokes.
Winter turned to spring, spring to summer, and then one day, there was a spark. And the dry grasslands and forests around the Little Last Chance Beaver family caught fire. It began burning and burning.
It was a really devastating fire. It burned a lot of forest.
This was back in the summer of 2021, and it became one of those mega fires we're seeing more and more of because of climate change. Thousands of people had to be evacuated, hundreds of houses burned down. And as for the plants and critters of the mountains,
it seems like absolutely everything has burned.
By October, humans were finally able to extinguish the fire. But Emily had no idea what happened to those beavers.
Could they have survived the fire?
So one day, she began the long drive up the mountain.
And the drive up is very disheartening because everything is just blackened and it's silent, which was the creepiest and strangest part to me. So I'm not feeling like super confident.
But she keeps driving.
And we find a route in.
They get out of the car and begin walking. And suddenly,
it is loud. It is splashing water. There's all sorts of birds. There's lots of bugs. There's a lot of wind in the trees and the grasses and the rustling you expect.
Oh, wait. And even there being wind in the trees means there's still trees standing.
There's still trees. The pine trees that were near it are fine. The trees that are in the wetland are fine.
It was completely green.
Completely unburnt. Not even just like a little burnt. Like they were unburnt. And when I got there, like honestly, it was like tears in my eyes.
Why tears?
Because I drove past the burned houses coming up and the burned roads and all the things that we wanted to protect and couldn't. And thinking about the future of climate change and knowing that this is the future that's coming, that's a really difficult reality to wrap your head around. I was living in California at the time. I was seeing my future there. And then getting up to the beaver wetland, it was a very hopeful moment because sometimes it feels like we're all out of ideas and it's not working. But then right in front of me, something is clearly working. And even if we don't know exactly why or how yet, we can learn from it.
And as for the Little Last Chance Beavers,
I did stay out in the evening and saw both mom and dad swimming. And when they were out swimming, I could hear 3, maybe 4 different young beaver whines coming from where the lodge was.
Oh, they made it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just them. When Emily looked at the area from way high up in space from a satellite, she saw something incredible. This halo of green around the beaver's dams. She guessed that this one little family, these 5 or 6 awkward beings, had saved about 7.5 acres of land from burning.
Yeah, that effect is called making fire refugia. It's a patch that doesn't burn that other things can use.
Refugia is a fancy word, sort of like for refuge. It's just like place that is safe.
Okay, exactly.
refugia. I love this word. I have not stopped thinking about it since Emily taught it to me. How might we all create a little refuge around us for the other beings of this world, even if we are clumsy and awkward and waddling and tired? I think about the people in the Bronx, those first 2 or 3 people who started picking up trash and eventually created a ripple effect that cleaned up the river. These things can happen. They do happen in the human world and in the animal world. That day at the beaver dam, Emily saw frogs and birds and even bear, creatures she suspects might not have survived the fire without that beaver family. And that's why she has come to see beavers as firefighters.
Yeah, they're spreading water out across the whole landscape that's keeping everything nice and green and healthy and stopping it from being easy to burn.
Emily has tested this effect in mountains and forests and deserts.
And so far what we've seen is that they are really good at making fireproof patches pretty much everywhere.
Little rings of green you can literally see from space.
You know, when we talk about restoring nature, we don't always know how to do that. But guess what? Beavers instinctively know what it's supposed to look like.
That's Beaver Believer Ben again. He and Emily both work in different ways to inspire and convince people to protect beavers.
One of the mantras of the Beaver Believer goes, let the rodent do the work. They'll store water for us. They'll capture pollution. They'll help us fight wildfires. They'll create habitat for all of the fish we like to eat and the birds we like to watch and so on. They do all of this stuff for us if we let them.
Another mantra, be more beaver. What if we too worked to build structures that actually mended instead of harmed the land? As pie in the sky or impossible as that may seem, there are people already out there doing just that, following in the beaver's footsteps, waddling awkwardly toward a better world, one step at a time. Gofinsky, everybody. He used real beaver tail slaps as percussion in that. And that's it. There's nothing else cool about how it goes. What's that?
Excuse me, I have a question. 2, 3, 4.
The Badgers. Listeners, badgering questions for our experts. Are you ready?
Absolutely.
Hi, my name is Felix, and I'm 6 years old. Do baby beavers have baby teeth?
Yep. Not the big buck teeth, but some of the side teeth, which are called cheek teeth. Cheek teeth, cheek teeth, cheek teeth. Say that 10 times fast.
My name is Remy, and I'm 6 years old. Since beavers eat wood, what does their poop look like?
Well, they do the double poop.
double poop? What does that mean? They poop once and then what?
They eat that again,
No.
and then when it comes out, it looks like a sawdust marshmallow. And those sawdust marshmallows, if you dry them out, they're actually great fire starters.
What? Have you ever done that?
I have burned one to see if it could burn, and it burned just fine.
Now that's what I call a useful nugget.
Hi, my name is Tyler. I'm 39 years old. I am trying to figure out how do beavers raised in captivity know how to build a dam, even if they've never seen a river?
They learn from their instincts and also from following around their parents and brothers and sisters and trying to do what they do.
Wait, so are there regional differences in architectural style? Like how you get Swedish modernism or Southwestern adobe?
Anecdotally, yeah, there are. And some of them built some really weird dams.
Really?
And
Like how so?
like at like 90-degree angles from one another, like zigzagging instead of having nice curvy shapes. They like teach their kids what's available to build with. It could be garbage, mud. I have seen cow bones. I have seen all sorts of interesting things.
Spooky, a dam made out of bones? Like a skeleton dam?
No joke, I saw that on a Halloween field tour, and I thought somebody had like set it up for me.
Haunted lodge.
Yeah.
Haunted dam.
There's like cow knuckle bones and a femur, and they're just like integrated into this dam. It's like unreal.
And that's where we gotta leave it with the spooky beaver dam. And I won't tell you that vanilla ice cream, candy, yogurt, and many perfumes used to be made with an oil that came from the beaver's booty. It was called castoreum, and that's true. If you used to eat like vanilla ice cream or certain candies back in the time of like your great-great-grandparents, you were actually tasting beaver bum. I won't tell you that because I'm nice, but I did learn it in Beaver Believer Ben Goldfarb's great book called Eager, The Surprising Secret Life of Beavers and Why They Matter. Highly recommend you check it out. And that'll do it for today. Terrestrials was created by me, Lou Miller, with WNYC Studios. Our executive producer is Sarah Sandback. This episode was produced by the naughty, gnawing on wood, Ana Gonzalez. Tail slappingly good sound design by Mirabeau and Tonic. Our team also includes Alan Gafinsky, Tanya Chawla, and Jim Plord. Fact checking by Diane Kelly. She would not let us get anything wrong. Would spelled W-O-O-D. Support for Terrestrials is provided by the Simons Foundation, the Arthur Binding Davis Foundations, and the John Templeton Foundation. Thank you. We have got new episodes turning out every 2 weeks. We hope you'll listen and subscribe to the Radio Lab for Kids feed and tell your friends. It really helps our chances of getting to keep going. We also have social media where Alan drops Frog Fact Friday videos every Friday. Frog Fact Friday! And we also have animated music videos, contests, and just like me saying hello in various natural places. That's at Terrestrials Podcast. And if you want to submit a Badgers question, sign up for our newsletter, or check out past episodes, just head on over to www.terrestrialspodcast.org. Okay, hopefully all those links would work for you. Would work. Okay, be very careful out there. Go sink your teeth into some good stuff. And see you in a couple of spins of this dirty old planet of ours.
Hi, I'm Maddie, and I'm from Frederick, Maryland. Leadership support for Radiolab's science programming is provided by the Simmons Foundation and the John Templeton Foundation. Foundational support for Radiolab was provided by the Alfred P. Sloan Foundation.
WNYC's journalism and storytelling is heard by millions of passionate listeners. Sponsors of our programming gain our listeners' attention and their respect. Learn about how your organization can support WNYC and WNYC Studios at sponsorship.wnyc.org.
Pop, pop, pop. That is the sound of popcorn popping to announce the big news that Radiolab is headed to the Tribeca Festival podcast stage for a special live show in New York City. We will be headlining the podcast program with this one night only live show at the festival's 25th anniversary. Come on out on June 9th at 6 p.m. for a show that will literally give you chills. Tickets are available now at tribecafilm.com/audio. That's tribecafilm.com/audio.
Hey, it's Molly. Before this episode little secret, which is that Radiolab is doing an Ask Me Anything about our recent episode, Snail Sex Tape. So the AMA is going to be with myself and our producer, Mona Metgaukar, who is like a snail expert, a snexpert. And you can ask us anything, how the episode got made, how we came up with the idea, do snugs really exist? So come to the AMA on April 16th. Now, the catch is, in order to come, you need to be a member of the lab. So if you're not a member of the lab, go sign up now, fools, so you can come see us. Go to radiolab.org/join, radiolab.org/join. Use code SNAIL so you get a discount on your first year of membership. And as a thank you for signing up right now, we will send you an enamel snail pin that we are about to drop. It's very cool. We all want it on our jean jackets. So I can't wait to see you April 16th. And until then, we have a really great episode for you today. It is a story Lulu and Latif reported back in 2022, all about the chaos and messiness of life. And I'm talking life with a capital L, like the kind that evolution gets involved in. So let's go listen.
Wait, you're listening?
You're listening to Radio Lab.
Radio
From
WNYC. Rewind. Okay, so let me just, because I also don't entirely know what's going on.
I'm Lulu Miller.
I'm Latif Nasser.
And we also have with us
Yeah.
producer Matt Gilty.
We have 3 different pitches.
Yeah, we're gonna. Do you guys
Wow,
have the?
we're doing 3 different things.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
mine's very little. But I need you. Gotta leave me 15 minutes.
15 minutes. Okay, a little context. A while back, the 3 of us found ourselves in a studio together because our editor Soren, he knew that we were independently working on these 3 different stories. So you don't know that, Lulu, you do know the stories or you don't?
No, I don't know. And unbeknownst to us at the time, he decided that each of our stories hidden chaos versus order in a way that could upend some of our deepest beliefs about how life works.
Yeah.
And so he wanted to just get us in the ring together.
It's a cage match. It's a story cage match.
Yeah, and we'll get to all that. But
Should I start?
Latif has got story number 1.
All right. Okay. So we're starting at the University of Rostock in Germany.
Yeah, the story started here in Rostock.
With this ecology professor named Hendrik Schubert. Did I pronounce that right?
Absolutely great. You got it.
So back in the early 80s, Hendrik finishes his undergrad degree in ecology at Rostock, studies in a couple different departments there, goes on to teach for a while at a different university.
And when by chance I got the professorship here in Rostock in my former department,
he came back home.
It was really by chance. I never dreamed of.
But the job was department chair. So basically now he was going to be the boss of his former teachers.
Yes.
Awkward.
Yeah. It's kind of a funny dynamic, right? Mm-hmm. Anyway, one day he walks into this temperature-controlled lab that they have there, and he sees one of his old professors.
Mentor of mine,
Reinhard Heerkloss.
Yeah, my name is Reinhard Heerkloss.
And right next to Reinhard, he also sees, much to his surprise,
I saw this barrel.
A bright blue 100-liter barrel.
Yeah, my barrel for my experiments.
And Hendrik knew this barrel.
When I was still a student and we had a practical course where we...
Because as an undergrad, he had done this experiment with Reinhard, where they had filled these barrels full of seawater.
Brackish water from a lagoon of the Baltic Sea.
And they were tweaking the nutrient levels just to watch how it would affect the, tiny microorganisms living in the water.
Like copepods,
Yeah.
zooplankton.
But it was a simple little experiment that had only lasted for 2 weeks. And now, more, a decade later, Reinhard still had that barrel, just sitting there.
So I asked Reinhard, hey, what are you doing with this? And he told me.
So Reinhard then tells him the story.
So I can go back to the late 80s.
So a few months after the initial experiment in 1989, something unthinkable happened.
The big jump in history.
The Berlin Wall fell.
The Berlin Wall fell.
Rostock was in East Germany, and all of a sudden, just felt like overnight, everything changed. The currency changed, the head of state changed, the university changed its name, its curriculum. Like, all these very specific things about Reinhardt's day-to-day life, all of a sudden, just changed.
Yeah, it
6 months later, June 1990, in all the chaos, Reinhardt had totally forgotten about the barrels until one day, a colleague of his in his department wanted to do a different experiment, and so came to him and was like, "Hey, could you?" Just bugging him, like, "Could you just get those barrels out of there?"
I was asked to remove these barrels for their own experiment.
So he does it one by one. So he like takes the one, he like shimmies it over, he dumps it out,
Empty the water and wash out the thing.
takes the other one. So he started doing that, and then he gets to the control barrel, which is the one in the experiment that they had done nothing to. It was just sitting there under a light source, right? It was as a comparison for the other barrels where they were tweaking things.
Okay.
And like for some reason, he's about to tip it over, and then he stops himself, and he's like, "You know what? Let me just like take a little sample of this and look under a microscope and see what's actually like in this barrel."
Is there still life in it or is it not in it?
And so he looks at it, and he's totally dumbstruck by what he sees.
Sample filled with many, many organisms with zooplankton and algae and so on.
I mean, he hadn't even touched this thing in months. Nobody had.
I thought that there will be nothing, just more or less dead.
But when he looks, he sees that it's not just alive, it's thriving. There's like tons of different species. So there are phytoplankton. These are like little plants, and a lot of them are green. Zooplankton, which are basically like the animal-y type of plankton, some of which eat the phytoplankton, some of which eat the other zooplankton. And then there are bacteria, which are basically like the equivalent of the mushrooms or the whatever that are recycling the whole system. Unwittingly, he had created a little natural world. Quick question of clarification. Did he create it or did he just preserve it?
Yeah.
I think it's like a semantic thing. That's what I love. Like sure. So maybe he didn't create it, but he sustained it. He didn't sustain it because he didn't touch it. It just happened. It's like a symbol of ocean that he got, and somehow this symbol of ocean is continuing to live. Okay, cool. Okay, so also when he sees that it's alive, part of the other reason that it excites him is that at that time in the 80s and 90s, there was this kind of open question in the field of ecology about the natural course of an ecosystem. And I'm kind of like bastardizing the question in a way that I understand it. So like, but this is basically, I think, what it is. If you could just give an ecosystem the basic things it needs, right, like sunlight and space and whatever, but there were no humans around to mess with it, no comets, no earthquakes, no outside compounding factors, what would happen? What would that ecosystem do?
Huh.
Cool. Okay. And there's sort of two options here. Like it might be that all the creatures get, to some certain population level and with a bit of eating one another and more being born over here, and then it basically stabilizes. Beyond the day-to-day up and downs, it basically is like a line in the end.
Like a never-ending line of harmony.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or maybe would you see like more like a cycle? Like there would be more of one thing for a while, and it would dominate for a while, but then it sort of crashes because there's not enough of another thing for it to eat, and then another thing takes over, and then instead of like a so in this case, instead of like a line, what you have is a circle.
A circle of life.
That's right. That's right. It's what Mufasa says in The Lion King, the circle of life. That's the song, right?
Yeah.
So two options, line or circle, which are kind of just two flavors of balance.
The prevailing view was that when they are left alone, the nature tend to get balanced.
But here, in this barrel, Reinhardt thought, I have the perfect opportunity to answer this question. I've got an ecosystem that's totally untouched by humans. And the species in that ecosystem are born, reproduce, and die at a super quick clip. So in just a few months' time, I'll be able to see like hundreds of generations worth of transformation. And so he starts tracking how the various species are doing. Week after week, he's like interrupting Christmas with his family because he's like, I gotta go, sorry. Looking at and scrutinizing like a glass of water over and over and over again. And everyone's like, this is the most boring thing. Like even his colleagues who are like scientists who do boring other stuff.
My stale water.
Exactly. They are all like, this is like, they're like, what even is this experiment? But from another way, it's like, he is a god overseeing a tiny universe where he is watching it, and it's like generations are passing in effectively the blink of an eye for him, and he's watching this like very dramatic story unfolding, but he's trying to figure out like what exactly is the shape of it, like what is the plot.
He's like, am I in a suspense movie? Am I in an apocalypse?
That's exactly what's happening, and he can't figure it out because what he is seeing, it's like a microbial Game of Thrones or something that he's like watching. Like the species that are there, they're booming, they're crashing. One type of creature could be the dominant species in the barrel for hundreds of generations, and then just it's a blip from then on. Like it just crashes and then it never comes back.
It's like Rome rises, thinks they're gonna be on top of the world forever, and then
Yeah.
the barbarians come in and are like, oh, help, no, it's Germany now.
Right. And he watches this play out in this barrel for over 6 years, waiting for the harmony.
Oh.
And he just never.
It never came?
It never came. No line, no circle.
In this nutshell of a small ecosystem, nature is chaos, chaos, chaos.
What Reinhardt had discovered in this barrel was this tiny ecosystem, when left to its own devices, was completely chaotic.
So what does that mean? Like, is that thing just booming and busting at random, or does that mean...
Well, so...
First of all, maybe I should tell a little bit what chaos is.
Please.
Because for most of the people, chaos is just total random, but it's not.
This is Elisa Beninka.
I'm Elisa Beninka, and I'm a theoretical ecologist.
Reinhardt brought her in to analyze this data, and she says the way to think about chaos is not whether it's random or not, but to what extent we can predict what's going to happen.
So actually, chaos is system which is high predictability on the short run, but cannot be predicted in the long term. And the weather is actually the best example for that. Meteorologists can do forecasts up to 2 weeks.
After that, they're no better than you or I trying to predict the weather. And in the case of this barrel,
species could be predictable for around 15-30 days. After that, you couldn't know who's going to be in advantage.
So it's not like, things are just happening completely randomly for no reason whatsoever. It's just that we, like it's beyond us to see why things are happening or what's going to happen, which to Reinhardt, suggested there's no line, there's no circle. Like harmonious natural balance, that's all BS. Like at any moment, the natural equivalent of the Berlin Wall could fall and just upend the whole system.
He told me I never have seen a stable state.
So when Hendrik, the student turned department chair, ran into Reinhardt and his barrel, Reinhardt told him about all of this data he collected.
Sometimes I have a stable state for some weeks or even months, but then suddenly the system shifted again, and I decided to follow up.
And then with the help of Elisa and others, Reinhardt gets his work published in Nature. And according to Hendrik, there was this immediate blowback from some other ecologists.
Yes.
Because it sort of thumbed its nose at this whole field of study. Like,
if this is true, why should we do any research anymore?
If you're saying we should bring the system back to order, and you're saying there's no such order to begin with, what the hell are we even doing?
Well, if there's chaos in nature, why do we do restoration or whatever?
But Hendrik, he was also skeptical of the result for scientific reasons. Because even if Reinhardt found chaos inside this one barrel,
it doesn't mean that chaos is something mandatory. He showed that there might be chaos.
Hendrik is like, I'm redoing this whole thing.
Really?
Let's see what happens. So this time he repeats the experiment.
Similar setup and improved setup.
Trying to control for all possible variability.
To get our best, let's say.
And
for a year, twice.
With 8 barrels this time. They scoop and measure, scoop and measure, scoop and measure,
etc.
What did you and your colleagues find?
We had signs of chaos in some of the vessels and in some of the compartments tested.
So not all 8,
not all and not always the same.
Like when there was chaos, it was playing out in different ways in the different barrels, which provides me at least with a little sigh of relief because in some ways it's saying, like we still don't know.
Or is it just now like a multiverse of chaos where we can't even tell if it's going to be chaotic or when it's going to be chaotic? Like I just see deeper chaos, which which fine, I'm okay with.
Really?
Yeah.
For me, reading about this study, I found it quite jarring. I think I really wanted there to be like a hidden order to everything that is not about us, that has nothing to do with us, where things make sense. And for that not to be there, I think is very unsettling. Like when we do conservation or restoration or whatever, it just feels like you'd be throwing your hands up.
My thought was like, if the order is gone, if there is no guaranteed harmony, that actually makes conservation work even more important. It's like if we don't intervene and protect the order, it's not guaranteed.
Who cares about your choices if it's chaos anyway? If there are things that are beyond your control that are gonna
happen,
screw it all anyway.
It's like the idea of the moral arc of the universe bends towards justice. I don't think it does, which is terrifying. So what you use to fabricate a form of justice. And yeah, there's a pandemic.
Wait, can I interrupt you?
Yeah.
Okay, write that version of The Lion King. See how many kids go to see that.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah, do it. Go, make the song. Elton John, go for it.
Okay. Numanaya singing Numanaya.
I'm very excited to hear what's coming next year.
Simba, based on this work as confirmed by Reinhardt, there is no delicate harmony awaiting you, and if you don't choose wisely and show respect to your fellow creatures and plants and bacteria and fungi, everything will die. The balance is not delicate, the balance is not there at all. And the song is not the circle of life. It's the giant abyss of no promises vortex of life.
But then why are we going to watch any of the rest of the movie? Like, even if you're a Lion King, your Lion Kingdom is going to, like the Roman Empire, it's going to crumble and fall, and like, who cares?
So I for sure think that's coming. I think we're probably out of here pretty soon, but let's make it decent for the other humans and creatures that will get to live in the short future. Sure, yes.
Okay, so that was round one of our chaos off.
Yeah, so we're going to take a quick break, and you can use that time to really ruminate on whether you believe chaos is totally empowering and great,
or has let all the air out of your spiritual balloon.
And then when we come back, round two, we've got another SmackDown Orderverse Chaos coming up from producer Matt Gilsey.
Every day, WNYC Studios is working to get closer to New York and to New Yorkers. The underwriting we get from businesses helps power our independence. Learn how your organization can join in at sponsorship.wnyc.org.
Lulu.
What If Radio Lab.
And we're back.
With Matt.
Okay, so my turn?
Yeah.
I think I see how these things go together, because Latif has this little barrel ecosystem that was in chaos, which is not totally random, but it's like a weird, wildly fluctuating thing. But I have a story that kind of like steps that up, because we found a part of life, you could argue the most important part, where it looks like things are actually fully, completely random. And I say we because...
Hello.
Hi.
Can you hear me? Heather, we can hear and see you.
I reported this story out with our contributing editor, Heather Racky.
Yes.
And Heather actually first heard this story from this guy, Chris Hoff.
Thank you, Heather. Who's a philosopher of science at Case Western Reserve University.
Yeah.
Chris, how did we come to the story? You wrote me an email and said,
I have a great story for you.
Yeah. You're like, I got a hell of a tale.
Exactly. Strap in your seatbelt.
Okay, So we're going back in time
To some big collars, cool music.
back to late 60s, early 70s, into this guy,
Professor Gold, the floor is yours.
Stephen Jay Gould.
I want to start by presenting the basic argument in a somewhat abstract form.
Maybe you've heard of him.
Darwin, in fact, never said that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he's the greatest. He's one of the best science writers of all time.
In his new book, Full House,
Yeah, he wrote some big deal books. Mismeasure of Man is one.
Right.
Wrote a lot about evolution,
The fundamental principles of Darwinian theory.
a lot about the history of science.
But before Gould was a public thinker, he was just a young man who really loved fossils.
He had like the kind of classic moment.
Where his dad took him to the American Museum of Natural History,
4 or 5.
the Hall of Dinosaurs.
Sees the T-Rex.
I remember standing under the Tyrannosaurus and a man sneezed. I thought the Tyrannosaurus had come to life. It was about to devour me, but at that moment of fear, just like fascination creep in.
He was like absolutely hooked.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's beautiful.
And Gould says after that moment, this fascination with fossils just started to unlock all these questions.
Questions like, why are we here on this earth? What are we related to? How is the earth built? What has its history been through time? What's been the pageant of change over this immense span of years?
So Gould felt himself drawn to the field of paleontology,
The study of fossils.
but that actually became kind of a problem for him.
Because paleontology was not really seen as like a real science.
You don't really get to answer big fun questions in paleontology.
You kind of look at a lot of fossils.
Yeah, Heather, you described it as stamp collecting. So, yeah, I mean, this is the problem that Gould was attempting to confront. You know, if we're going to survive as a science, we need to find a way of contributing answers to important questions.
So in 1967, Gould gets his PhD.
And he's immediately hired at Harvard.
And then one day,
This guy, Tom Shaw, a paleontologist at the University of Chicago,
called up Gould, said he'd read some of this research and he'd been wondering
if they could do anything really cool, basically, with computers and the fossil record.
And Gould's like, oh, that could be something.
So the fossil record is like everything we humans know about what existed before us.
What allowed us to start thinking about evolution, it kind of became the foundation for Darwin.
And for this guy Shaw, he thought, well, maybe there's actually still something in there, and we could use these new powerful machines to pull it out and start answering some big important questions.
And so Gould was just like, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so let's set the scene. It's like 1972, Shaw, Gould,
Right, and they invite this guy, Dave Rauch,
Another paleontologist
who had done these really cool studies.
looking at seashells and geometry.
and then there's this fourth guy, Dan Simberloff.
An ecologist who was really into, mathematical modeling.
So we got 3 paleontologists and an ecologist.
By the way, sounds like a beautiful beginning to a joke. 3 paleontologists, an ecologist, and a computer walk into a bar.
Okay, it's the winter of 1972,
These 4 guys go up to Woods Hole, Massachusetts,
where there's this sort of holy grail of fossil records.
this fossil record of marine life.
Marine invertebrates.
What are we even talking about? Like shellfish or what?
Yeah,
Mollusks.
yeah, mollusks, ammonites,
Oh, sure.
trilobites.
Trilobites.
Yeah, I mean,
Your various bites.
yeah, stuff on the seafloor.
And in this book, for each species, it basically has
Where this first appears in the fossil record, where it disappears in the fossil record.
So they grab this book, they go to a house somebody had,
and then they go to the computer.
take their big book out, they start entering all the data. And then they're like, okay, what next?
I mean, the problem, okay, like a computer needs, like you can't just say, computer, make a cool thing. You have to ask a computer a question.
And you get the sense that they just did not know what question to ask the computer. They didn't have a good question to answer that evolutionary theorists would care about.
So, like for 5 days, they don't know what to do.
And then right before, it's like the last day, Ralph is like, what if we have the computer simulate evolution at random?
And why would they do that?
Well, because evolution,
It's not a random process.
right, Darwin established it's like it's small incremental change over long periods of time.
But it's not just that, right?
Oh.
It favors certain
Right, yeah.
And it favors like adaptive traits.
Right, the fittest survive.
Yes.
And if you're not fit,
You just die.
You get wiped off the face of the earth because the strongest push you off.
because they're better suited for the
Right,
niche.
they're better than you.
Yeah, right.
What a bunch of jerks.
Way of the world. But so all they had was this really simple question.
Right. If things were just happening by chance, what would we see?
So what they do is they make a computer program, and they start with, let's say they start with a species in this program. They don't give that species any definable characteristics, anything like that. It's just this nondescript species.
Can you just name the species just because?
Yeah,
Helps
let's
me?
call it blue.
Okay, blue.
It's just this blue, blah, blue. And then they program the computer so that it's an arbitrary number. It's like, let's say 100 years. 100 years of blue living. The computer's like, okay, I now assign all of you blues one of three things at random. So thing number one could be nothing happens to the blues. The blues just get to keep on living, go through to the next round. So that's one option. Or the computer could pick number two, which is a little tweak to blue. And from blue, you get bleep. Whole new species.
So it's just bloops? Then it's bloops and bleeps.
Yeah. And they could go forward and they can go to the next stage.
So number one is nothing happens, you move on. Number two, you can change, evolve, speciate. Or the third thing that can happen is bye-bye blue.
Dead. Extinct. Dead. Forever.
Bye-bye blue.
R.I.P.
So that's it. 1, 2, 3.
Live, die, or speciate.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Yeah, exactly. And the computer's picking them at random.
Okay, so they produce these simulations
Running bloop after bloop through this program.
over millions of years.
And then they go to the computer, they like print it out, and all of a sudden they see something pretty bananas.
Which is the simulations that they produced looked remarkably like the actual fossil record.
Wait, what is that?
I can share a screen.
Chris showed us these graphs.
Okay, so this is a graph of the actual fossil record.
For the sake of this, just imagine tree of life sort of evolution, image. And you can see, okay, mollusks, they start here, they die here, and trilobites, they start here, die there.
And then Chris showed us the graphs of these simulations.
You see this one over here?
Oh.
Whoa.
Basically, if you were to zoom in on these branches, you'd see at the end of each of the branches the extinction points of the species. And the ones from the computer are the exact same as the ones from the fossil record. So, like, bloops and bleeps are going extinct just like trilobites went extinct, just like ammonites went extinct.
So for me, it's like, I'm like, wow, yeah, these do look similar. But I'm like, so what?
Yeah,
So
okay.
what? So what?
So I think the key here is kind of seeing the resemblance that these randomly simulated groups, they are to real groups. And then remembering that these are just going extinct randomly, whereas we thought these were going extinct through natural selection.
That is wild. So it's just like computer programming equals blindness.
Computer programming of nothing but chance and randomness, which is totally counter to like the sort of order of natural selection.
So natural selection would be like, you've got a bird with a like awesome beak and cool eyes, and it's like can fly like a baller, and then there's like a lesser bird that's kind of a weenie bird, and it's got like me, it can't see in 3 dimensions, and it's like not good at sports. It's like basically this is Heather bird.
Heather bird.
You're really projecting
Heatheritis.
yourself onto Winnie Bird.
But in this scenario, in like the Darwinian idea, it's like athlete bird with its great eyes, its great wings, wins the evolutionary battle. Heather bird goes extinct. Weenie birds, as a kind of bird, as a species, cease to exist. But what these computer simulations were showing is that extinction doesn't work that way, and that actually Heather weenie bird and super athlete bird have equal chance of not necessarily thriving, but like existing.
So it's like if those two species were born at the same time, Weenie Bird and Athlete Bird, it's up to chance which one would survive longer than the other.
Right. So fitness might explain why one species does better than another. But what extinction, it's not fitness or out competing one another. It's just random.
But
It's a little hard to get your mind around.
But wait, but I have a question. Going back to that marine, they're in Woods Hole. What did they all? Do we know what they thought at that moment?
Yeah, we do.
Well, they were all totally shocked.
Crystal, just the way he heard it is basically
When, the printouts come out, they're like, oh my god.
Also, like, we should say it's at this point that we got Chris a better microphone.
This is a mic gain of 8.
Yay, Chris, you sound great.
Anyways, but basically, like, they were kind of freaked out because the idea is, like, if Darwin can't explain why things go extinct, then the question is, why do things go extinct? Like, is it just chance and randomness?
and that question would send the three of them off in very different directions.
So Gould, he actually, this was mostly just like a big huzzah moment.
Because paleontology had sort of knocked down a piece of Darwin and put forward this new question.
Yeah, exactly.
And as Chris put it,
They put paleontology at the high table.
but Gould kind of leaves extinction behind.
Goes back to what I said at the very beginning, that we want to know why we're here.
And he starts using randomness and chance to look at things like diversity and adaptation.
And to a large extent, it is a grand-scale accident that we're here. Evolution has oddly contingent pathways that would never run the same way twice.
And he starts writing all sorts of books. He becomes kind of like famous Stephen Jay Gould. But then Ralph, the guy who came up with the question to ask computer, he becomes obsessed with extinction.
And stays on that track for the rest of his professional career.
He ends up writing this book, which I have right here. Extinction, bad genes or bad luck?
Oh, question mark.
And to Ralph, the answer was it's both. Like, you can't discount fitness, but when it comes to extinction, there's so much other stuff happening. The climate is changing, or an asteroid hits Earth, sea levels can rise and fall drastically. Like, all of that stuff is outside of your control. You could sort of die at any moment. So he sort of charts this middle ground view, which is probably how Gould saw it too.
But then you have Tom Schopp, the guy who started the whole project, and he just goes full randomness.
Yeah, I mean, the impression that I get was like, pretty much from the word go, he was like, randomness is the order.
Schopp developed this idea called species as particles.
Species as particles in space and time.
He believed that if extinction is truly random, then as a whole, species are sort of indistinct. Like, they have no real differences between one another.
That there are no, like, better or worse. The way he puts it, there's no inferior or superior beings. There's just ones that survive and ones that don't.
Schopp began writing a book trying to flesh out this theory. But in 1984, at the age of 44, he was in Texas doing field work with students, and he died suddenly of a heart attack.
While reporting this story, we talked to some paleontologists, and we're like, well, like, who, like, do we know? Is it sort of like the Ralph, bad genes, bad luck? Is it the Schopp, total randomness? Like, what drives extinction? And the answer we got is that we still don't know. Like, we still haven't answered the question is sort of uncovered with this computer in Woods Hole.
Well, I gotta say, I'm rooting for Schopp. I mean, if it doesn't matter how quote unquote fit or muscly or well honed or sleek our model is, that doesn't relate to how long we're gonna like hang around on Earth. It means in a very real way, like, we're all equally good. And for me, it creaks open all this possibility that might be waiting behind things that we look at and deem unfit or deformed or weenie bird-esque. Like, it gives all this, it returns all this possibility that gives me a sense of like thrill. Like, it makes me want to look at the things I'm discounting, you know?
Totally.
I don't know. I'm not sure, because okay, so to me, like, it's this, right? Like, let's say we used to have this idea of fitness, where it's like, okay, there are the cool kids who are fit, and they, in the old mentality, to be like, yeah, like, this is like, we're Team Human. There's some people that get picked first for Team Human, who are the ones who are helping us survive, and some people who get picked last for Team Human, who are like us. But then it seems like this, if it's like, oh, the fittest people. Like, they're not necessarily helping you survive. Those super fit characteristics, like,
All right,
you could still
that
get hit by a bus.
bing
and, like,
sound.
that's
A
the
few
way they
flyers,
go.
but so
It's
far I
not
think
like,
it's actually
oh,
alright.
now all the
Round
people
3
who
of the
kick
test.
ass on the
Okay.
team, like, they have the same chances of but it's not.
So far, based on what I heard, I think the grouping is actually decent. There's no problem of hitting a man-sized target, but for the detail part, I might need to take a look at the footage to see like exactly how it performs. But you know what? Let's get the unboxing started. But this time, it's not the gun. It's the little solution we got. Let's go. Rolling. Now, the freehand shooting part. I will try to hit the targets as many times as possible at the range of 20, 30, 40, and 50 meters and see how it goes. Shall we? All right, 20 meters. Pretty easy. 30. Nice. 40. 50. Oh, the hit. 40. I would say you don't need to upgrade your hop up. You know, you don't need to upgrade your chamber. This one is already good. All right, let's get to the review part first. Let me get a quick introduction on the Magnus Pearl hop up chamber, and do the installation guide, and then test it again. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Andrew Lai from Quasma Airsoft. Well, we start the video today in a slightly different fashion. We moved the target all the way back to 50 meters. Why? Because this episode, we are going to talk about the little solution we got, the Magnus Pearl hop-up chamber for GHK and VFC ARs. Let's get started. Okay, so in the beginning of this video, I want to start with this DDMK18 here. I would like to, well, as you guys saw from the beginning, the performance is actually decent. Let's say if a beginner got this gun, I really think that at the moment when it's fine-tuned, I think the performance is going to be good. Well, based on the test that you just saw, the accuracy is actually quite decent, to be honest. I mean, there's 1 or 2 flyers sometimes, but overall, at the range of 50 meters, hitting a size that's 30 by 30, it's, according to my personal opinion, I think it's actually challenging. So, you know, hitting a man-sized target at the range like that, this gun is actually quite capable. However, I want to address the problem, though. That's the moment when you got this thing fine-tuned. I'm going to talk about this again. Yeah, back to the adjustment process. This thing just, yeah, it completely broke. See, it's free spinning. It's like it's no longer functioning. It's just free spinning. You know, this could actually make the entire, let's say, for a beginner user experience process, make it extremely unpleasant. Because again, as a beginner, you probably wouldn't have any idea, like, how do I what the hell is hop up? How do I even adjust the trajectory? And with a tool like this, that's not very stable, and also it's kind of flexible. It just broke. As a beginner, I wouldn't know what to do next. So that really is a problem. And then you know, I'm a player myself too, and every time, you know, when I try to
fine tune or adjust my hop up, trying to find a tool or at least remember to bring a tool with me, that's also another thing. And I think this thing it almost fits in your grip, but no, it doesn't. So here I have a quick tip that I can show you guys, just in case if your GHK MK18 that the adjustment tool broke, what can you do? You can find yourself a screwdriver, fit first of the extension tip, find another extension tip that's longer, and then let's see, and eventually find another longer extension that says the size of 2mm tip. And when you want to adjust your hop up, you eject the mag, push the pin out, pull the bowl out, and eventually you can find that screw. Then you can do clockwise to increase the hop up, counterclockwise to decrease the hop up. And sometimes it gets stuck. Alright. Once your gun is well adjusted, put everything back. Fire a few rounds. And if you're not happy with the result, do it again.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
So yeah, the entire process is just not that pleasant. And even let's say if I have my very, very old GHK URGI, this is the V2 version, which I got a long time ago. Yeah, in order to adjust the hop up with the older system that, you really have to remove the entire front handguard away in order to adjust the hop up. So let's say, what if you had a bunch of optics mounted already? Then in that case, redo the setting just to adjust the hop up. Yeah, see, I guess I'm just a picky guy. So in that case, eventually I decided, you know what, since we start doing our own stuff already, why don't we design something that fixes all the problems, that makes the hop up adjustment process much easier and really give you that stable performance, or at least it's predictable. Your good friends in the field that doesn't fail you. The Magnus World AR hop-up chamber. Let's check it out. Okay, so the goal is actually very simple. We don't want to take the gun apart to adjust the hop-up, and we want it to shoot great with all different weights of BBs. That's the goal. And let's see what's inside the box. So it's a very small box. Once you open it up, I tell you this little bag of something, it is really important. Please take good care of it. I will go over what's inside the little bag. And then we got this really pretty shiny card that holds the Magnus Pro AR hop-up chamber. Ooh. And be careful with this little ring, you will need it. And this one is designed for GHK and BFC, and right here we got the parts list. So you will see all the parts that's listed all the way from 1 to 12. Okay, back in the box. All right, so that's the Magnus Pro AR hop-up chamber, and right here I will show you guys exactly how to install it onto the GHK MK18 DD-MK18, and do the test after the installation. Okay, then let's start with the tools first, because again, if you're a beginner that you're not perfectly sure what kind of tools do I get if I want to do some kind of tagging by myself, the first tool to use is YouTube. YouTube is your single best friend. A lot of people, they will post videos online, and then you can just simply go and then they show you the entire instructions on how you do things. That's the first tool. The second tool is I'm really into those type of multi-tips tools that comes with a grip, because that way technically you just get all different tips inside the box. Very, very handy, and it's very easy for you to just take it out. And last but not least, this is probably one of the tools I use the most. It's the Allen wrench. This one, it's got all different sizes, and then just in case if you wanna like remove some screws that need something like very heavy duty, this one is the way to go. And make sure you get the slightly more expensive ones, because the cheaper ones, it destroy your screws, or sometimes this thing just breaks off easily. So don't get yourself into trouble like that. You don't want. Right, then also I would recommend, if you own some M4s that you want to do some like tagging at home, you really need this kind of multi-wrench specifically designed for M4s, because it's got all the tools you need to take apart things and to tighten things. Very handy. This one, it's even got like, you can use it on some kind of flash hiders perhaps. So yeah, this one is one of my favorite. All right, then let's take the gun apart. Alright, we got the chamber out. Pretty nice contact. Yeah, that actually looks pretty decent. Yep. Alright, let's talk about the stock chamber. Well, actually, if you wanna see all the details about the stock chamber, then go back to our previous video on the review. It's got all the details covered. However, based on the test, I think the only problem with the stock chamber is that, well, because it's made out of plastic, so overall it will be, you see, there's like slight bit of wobble to it, and also the hop-up arm and everything, it's just made out of plastic. So in that case, you will get like 1 or 2 flyers sometime, because you're not perfectly sure if this polymer thing is holding your barrel in the proper fashion. So yeah, that's just personally, I'm really not a big fan of unpredictabilities. I want something predictable. At least if it is shitty, give me constant shitty at certain spot. So that way I can still hit someone. I don't like something that gives you good, and all of a sudden like bad. That's just really bad. So I don't like that. In that case, I wouldn't say this is a bad hop-up. I would say overall, if it is fine-tuned, it's still pretty decent. So let's take it apart and then get the Magnus Pro on it. And I will tell you guys exactly everything you need to know. Okay, then I got the entire hop-up chamber taken apart, and I will also show you what's inside the little bag. I'll take everything out. Got quite many parts, and I will go over each one of them. 2 contact knobs. Okay, let's start from the barrel and the hop-up buckings, because this is the first thing you do when it comes to installing Magnus Pro hop-up chamber. So I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys would be asking right now, what bucking does it use? The answer is all Tokyo Marui buckings, or say all Tokyo Marui spec buckings will do. This includes the Friction Pro, obviously, and then I actually got this green one from Thailand. This one, it was a very special sample to me. And then also the Maple Leaf. The Maple Leaf one works great, and also the TNT bucking, it should work. The Archwick clear bucking, it actually works great. The unicorn bucking works perfectly. The Marui stock bucking, obviously, and BFC stock bucking goes right in too. So when it comes to installation of the bucking, here's the difference that it might make is that for some buckings out there, you see there's this little cut right here. So if you have your bucking installed and then you found out that, let's use this one as an example, because for the maple leaf bucking, sometimes it doesn't accept the ones that has a bridge. So if you see you install the bucking and then it deforms like this, there's no way it's gonna work with the Magnus Pro Hopper bucking. Just keep that in mind. I said it very clear. This will not work. Okay, so in that case, you will need a GBB spec bucking that doesn't come with the bridge. So once you installed it, then another thing you need to check. This part actually bumps up a little bit. This way, it will not work with the Magnus Pro Hopper bucking too. Because here's the part I'm getting to. This, the bucking shroud. Basically, what this thing does is that it just covers your bucking like a charm. And then so what this does is that it actually helps your bucking to really bite into that air nozzle tip that gives you a much better air seal. This way it will make your gun more consistent and at the same time give you much better air seal, so less gas wasted. So that's the reason why I said this is really crucial, that if you see this part bumps up a little bit, yeah, this shroud is not going to go in. So in this case, this maple leaf bucking is not going to work. Okay, if you have some sandpaper that you can sand the tips a little bit, then in that case, yes. So right here, I have another maple leaf bucking that see when you install it, and once you check it, the ring around it doesn't pop up as much. Sometimes it could be your barrel, sometimes it could be the bucking, but look at this one. Ooh. Yeah, see? This one, it just, oh yeah, that's perfect air seal right there. See, this one gets on just like that. So if your bucking goes into the shroud like this, then you're good to go. This thing, everything just puts together. And also another very cool thing, another very, very cool feature that I would like to show you guys is the little